Hello and welcome to episode 100 of Third and Wrong. I'm your co-host Stephen Bullen, and I'm joined as always by Zach and Ozzy. We are super fired up to be joined by the 2019 first overall pick by the Toronto Argonauts, Shane Richards. Shane, thank you for joining us, my friend. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me on.
Awesome. Shane, I want to get right off the bat here, man. First day of padded practice, it's you versus veteran Charleston Hughes. One-on-one drills. Who's getting the better end of that matchup?
Man, I don't know. I ain't throwing no gas yet. We got a lot of we picked up a lot of heat on the D line. I'm excited, to be honest. I don't know. I'm looking forward to it. That's really when I saw that, it was more of a opportunity because now you get to really work all those type of moves that you would work on him in the game. And I haven't even played him in the game yet because I got hurt all my first year. So like it's almost like being a rookie again, all going into year 3. So it's kind of dope, to be honest. It's really kind of dope. But I ain't throwing nothing out there because, like I said, there's a lot of heat out there right now, and we're still building right now.
Shane,
Yes,
what
sir.
is that? Sorry to interrupt you, Steve. What was that? Is there like a O-line group chat that's going on right now with all those signings that are happening? You guys are just like, man, what are we up against?
Nah, I mean, I don't think no one. Ain't nobody scared about what got signed. That's not what I'm trying to say.
No,
I'm
I
just
know.
saying, like, it's just it's a lot. It's going to be a lot of learning experience. It's a big learning experience for me. That's how I'm taking most of the science. To be honest, it's a lot of guys that have a lot of talent, a lot of experience, a lot of knowledge, and it's going to be very hard to catch those guys off on a bad day. Regardless of whatever is going on with them, it's just going to be hard to catch them on a bad day to where they shouldn't know how to get out of it. So for me, it's going into practice and, like learning from what they did the day before or whatever it was, and trying not to get caught with that again, or, coming up with my own type of antics to throw them off their game. And it's just going to be one of those that's how I plan on attacking it, to be honest.
That's awesome. So, Shane, where do you see yourself fitting on the offensive line this season? Do you consider yourself more versatile, can play inside, play outside, or do you kind of have yourself, at the tackle spot?
From my tape, I can play both inside and out, but I want to be on the outside. I like being on the outside for the most part, just the freedom to set pretty much how you want to set depending on what you're getting. It's more a one-on-one battle, and that's why I can speak from the experience of like those guys can switch up their moves like that a lot more because they have a lot more freedom and space to do what they need. You know what I'm saying? And to play in that much more space, it takes a lot more talent and a lot more skill to do it. And that's what I'm trying to push at.
That's awesome.
Man, I love it. First of all, Shane, I am a Toronto Argonauts fan, so I am very excited for you being on here today. So jumping into a little bit, we were talking about the Hughes signing. There's been a flurry of signings by Toronto, just to name a few, Nick Arbuckle, Cameron Judge, Odell Willis, Martavis Bryant, and so many more.
Yeah.
You obviously have ties to Calgary, which we'll get to a bit later, but which acquisition has you most excited going into the season?
What do you mean?
Like which player coming in has you most excited for the potential of the?
Like I said, honestly, it's more those older cats. You feel me? Like when you went against Sean Lemon in practice, it's not the same like going against. It's not gonna be the same like going against Hughes or Willie Jefferson. Like they all rush differently. You feel me? So it's like, and those guys have been doing it for a while. You know what I mean? And I don't think Willie's been doing it as long as Sean and Charleston, to be honest. But again, like they have a unique type of rushing that obviously a lot of people haven't figured out yet.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like now I get the ability to practice against that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's that's how I look at it. So it's more of those older cats coming in because, like I said, they're coming in with something that's been working consistently for them throughout their entire CFL or football career. You know what I mean? That unique skill that makes them that much different. And again, we get to practice against them. You know what I mean? I get to watch these guys in film. I get access to all of their film and see how they think. You feel me? So it's a combination of everyone coming in because looking at the D line and the safeties and the linebackers, it's like damn, on paper everything looks crazy. You
Right.
feel me? On paper everything is crazy, but
Right.
it's not really. The paper is more the mental for me. What they're bringing in and how they're gonna look at it and how they approach the game, and almost I'm expecting. To be honest, I'm expecting from all of that and all that seniority on one team. Like I almost expect the Tom Brady effect all in one.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like when a senior player comes from another team that's done it, been there, da da da. You know what I mean? Like you almost follow, you know what I mean, the person that's done it before. You know what I mean? And if that's what happens, I'm all for it. And I'm just trying to learn from that.
That's awesome. You got that, like you had said earlier, almost like a rookie again. And it sounds like you're totally open to, it's sounding like you're going to be a sponge when you're in practice up against those older guys. As you're saying, which
you're watching everything.
Exactly. And going up against that in practice, you're going to get so much better at it rather than if it was just in a game. So I'm super pumped to see your development, Shane. But speaking of kind of your development, going back to your journey to the CFL, you had stops with the Calgary Colts in the CJFL, the New Mexico Military Institute in 2015, Oklahoma State in 2016. So how did the CFL get sprinkled in there? Was that your thought of where you would end up landing, or how did that play out for you?
I mean, I always knew it was a possibility. How it played out, the way it played out, not in a million years, to be honest. But coming out of OSU, I knew the way that played out. It was honestly like, that's just where it kind of turned into like, okay, bet we need to come here and we need to develop. You know, we need to get what we need to get right and fix it. Because what happened to OSU was I came in and I was underdeveloped. And a lot of factors led into that. But I was underdeveloped, and while I did develop a lot of strength and technique and ability at OSU, like I don't think I was physically ready for all of that, to be honest. I wasn't maybe not mentally ready for all that. And even just like the world of like pro sports is a completely different world, that being in the CFL at a slower pace got me out of twine. You know what I'm saying? So like it was almost it's where I needed to be. You know what I'm saying? I didn't look at it as what it was. That's where I needed to be. And as I said, like on draft night, it was coming in and proving my worth to the team, and you know why they picked me, and that's kind of where we're still at. I mean, got hurt the first game, so I mean, there's not really much I could have done, and that's why I kind of accepted. Like that year was, I pulled the groin. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? We came back in later on in the season, but at that time, I mean, things were set in stone. There's not much I could really do as a rookie anyways. You know, I mean, the organization kind of like, you know what I mean, put a pause on whatever they want to put a pause on, right? So I kind of took this last year as like a redshirt year, seeing that I never had one of those. And that's kind of where we're at.
That's a good way of looking at it, as a redshirt year, getting yourself ready for a 2021 season. Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
Yes. Man, I feel like that actually like transitions so well into our next question here, as you know, it's kind of a special occasion. You were a first overall pick in the CFL draft, and that's something special we get on this podcast. And we get to ask the question then, being like, there's a weight that comes with being the first overall pick. How does that feel, and how can you explain the pressure of being selected at that level? Is it something that you've come accustomed to by now already, or like how does that play into your expectation and such?
I'm kind of going back to what I know best and where I found success at, and I found it at like two places at Nimi. Nimi was a great place I found success, and at OSU, even though it was short, it did give me an idea of what it took to get to where I needed to get to. It didn't last long, but when I look at reason why it didn't last long, it was because of things in my development stages that I never got. Like when I was in high school, weightlifting was not a big thing. I didn't start lifting weights till I got to college. You know what I'm saying? But at that time, like, I'm just putting on weight and strength. You feel me? I'm not working on flexibility, explosion, all the other smaller stuff that you typically work on in that order. You feel me? I didn't know any of that. So when I got through NIMI, like, I left NIMI at 370. I got in at 325.
Okay.
Right. So I put on around 50 pounds, right? But it was, I wouldn't say it was pure muscle, but I put on some muscle, right? Because the food at NIMI was not the best. But so, and then when I got to OSU, I was 370, and I left at 320 something. So I cut down a little bit, but like, I picked up a lot of knowledge when it came to working out. And I picked up a lot of knowledge once I left OSU when I was training in Houston, on just like my diets and like flexibility and that type of stuff. So once I got hurt again the second time around, not even 6 months span, I was like, okay, like, we got to figure out what was happening, what went wrong. You feel me? And then that's pretty much all the first period of like the off season was like getting my diet and my workout plan and figuring out how to change what happened in the last season to not happening in this season. And what I came up with was like, my flexibility was off, and I've gotten that right now. Core strength got improved a lot, and I picked up boxing to help out with O-line play. So, and like, just understanding how much I need working out throughout the season and like taking better care of my body. So that's the plan going in. That's the plan we started last year. It's been going all right so far. But that's what we're going into the next season here. So I mean, we'll see what happens. But I mean, as far as like how that relates to the weight being on me, is it's like you don't really. It's hard to explain because like it's not really said, but it's like expected. You know what I mean? Like, you're expected to be as at a level that you say you are, and to some I mean, really and truly, that's what it is like that confidence saying, okay, I bet I am who I say I am. They drafted me for a reason. You are here because of this reason. You know what I mean? It's the only thing that's stopping you is you not trusting your ability. You know what I'm saying? So like, once I got over that hump, I was straight. And I think I got over it pretty good in camp. I think I had a couple of rough days in camp, but once I got over that, I was okay. And then it became more of a mental, understanding the playbooks and what kind of defenses that's being ran, because that was a whole different flip compared to college.
Yes, sir. And I'm glad you brought up the boxing. That actually led into our next question. And obviously we saw that CFL.ca article that was out in January that you used boxing as a means to improve your physique. Have you always had an interest in boxing growing up, or was this something new that you picked up over this last off season?
The only sport interest I had growing up was cricket, track and field, and maybe soccer. That was it. You know, I know nothing about football. I ain't know nothing about basketball. I ain't know nothing about boxing. Honestly, I just started getting into boxing. I picked up boxing in I want to say October, give or take. Yeah, I think October I picked up boxing, maybe September. I mean, it's just like the more I thought about it, and because I can play on both sides of the line, you almost like get used to fighting out of orthodox and a southpaw stance, and I'm putting two together and how everything kind of works with how you throw your punches, your core strength, like I said before. But when I was when I was getting brought up, and this movement, foot speed, the whole 9 yards, honestly. So it's working out well. I think I'm probably gonna be stepping into the ring on some real level eventually. But nice. I'm probably just gonna be for this year. It's just all training, and then probably take a few amateur fights next year.
There you go. It's funny you bring that up. Zach here used to box, and so I think we have the first matchup set up right away here. Get you and Zach in a ring, and you know, how confident are you can take on Zach? I'm really curious.
We can do a few rounds. We won't do crazy.
Shane, nothing but pillows I have, so don't worry. I love it. No, man.
Let's transition. Shane, you've been heavily involved in the community here. We met through Keon Raymond 7-on-7 big time flag football league in the fall. And as well, you're planting roots here with your own business, Four Corners Wingstop. What's the importance to you of athletes getting involved in their communities, planting roots in their communities? And what's your drive and like why you get involved in those certain aspects, giving your time volunteering with Keon and also, setting up business ties here in the community as well?
It's like a double. It's for me, honestly, like the football thing, not even just football, like the athletic thing is a real big thing for me personally, because when I knew for a fact when I was coming out in high school, like I said, I was not developed. Like if I told you just like, and it's very plausible. Like, yo, I pulled my pec benching, I think like 95 pounds, like in high school, on some real stupid stuff. But like, I just feel like there's a lot of athletes, and when I was coming out of high school, I was like maybe top 50 athletes coming out at the time. Like, I was not on top of the boards on anything. There were cats that there were way better athletes that knew the game when they were younger, grew up looking up to Brady and like Peyton Manning, knew about college football. I didn't know there was divisions in college football. I thought it was I thought every school played everybody. I kid you not, coming out of high school. I thought Calgary played every team all across the board. I didn't know there was I didn't know anything, right? So, and growing up now and accomplishing what I accomplished and doing what I said I was going to do off rip, it's not as hard as, people make it seem. And I'm finding out more is just people not really understanding what's really going on, for one. For two, as what's going on as far as development, you know what I'm saying? What cats really need, like, guys don't train year round here. Like, they just don't. And part of the reason they just can't afford it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I couldn't afford it. So
Right.
I know it's a lot higher now. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, there's just a lot of people we just don't know what opportunities are, what they can do, what they can't, like what they can and can't do. You know what I'm saying? And that's really my push, is just like more like helping guys say, yo, look, it's possible. And I mean, from what I've been like listening to and reading like on my podcast lately, it's more like understanding that us being around the younger generation and them seeing that, okay, bet, yo, we are telling you personally that this is possible. Like, this is not your coach telling you. This is not your coach saying, I coach this cat. And like, this is not stories from your coach. Like, I am personally telling you one-on-one, shaking your hand, dabbing you up right now. Saying, look, there's a path here. You know what I'm saying? But it's up for you to take it. Like, I'm not going to push nobody to take it. You know what I'm saying? And it's that exposure. I feel like that exposure, and I Keon's doing a great job with the 7-on-7 stuff, right? And I mean, we have a lot of CFL guys on that. You know what I mean? So it's like those guys are seeing that, okay, bet it's possible what they're saying. What we're telling you is not complete BS. Like, it is possible. It's just about, you have to change about how you're going to approach it. You feel me? And that's where it's going to take a little bit of time, because this is going to be seen. You're going to see a lot of people seeing it happen and then wondering, yo, why can't I do it? You know what I'm saying? So I guess that's what we're trying to do, is more the exposure. And then with the wings thing, I want really and truly the end goal for Four Corners is to have 4 locations within each quadrant of the city. And then each of those locations, I really want to like sponsor like high school sports. And like, not just football or basketball, you know what I mean? Like baseball, tennis. Like, baseball is not as big as it should be up here. You know what I'm saying? Like football is not as big as it should be. Like, and I feel like really and truly is because it's not sponsored the way it should be. Like, nobody knows when games are happening. Nobody knows what's happening with the teams, even within the school. Like, within like each school. Like, so I think it's growing, but at the same time, it's just not where it needs to be, because I feel like there's not enough sponsor. People aren't really like buying into it. And when you come from like going to college in the US, you see how they buy into it. and how people sponsor things. And when you really look at it, why they have the things, or why they accomplish 90% of the things they do is because of the facilities they have and the things they're built. Like, they can train year round, they can lift year round. You feel me? They can do a lot of things we are subjected to. Bro, we live in Calgary. Why do we not have an indoor facility?
Right? You're preaching, man.
Yeah.
We live in Calgary. Why does BC have an indoor facility? They live in BC. Like, what? Like, it doesn't make any sense. Why does Winnipeg have a...
You're preaching to the choir, man.
It was negative 24 the other day, and it's not nothing new.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
At all. I'm saying, like, in a real year, they'd be starting a spring ball right now.
Yeah.
In a real year. How, like, it don't make no sense. I don't understand how there's a CFL game and people don't know there's a CFL game going on tonight.
Right.
I don't get it. You feel me? But at the same time, like, as far as like for college, not for like high school and like this development of kids,
right?
Like, that's what I really want Four Corners to do, is like really sponsor them. You feel me? Like, really get them the gear they need. You feel me? Like, if we can get an indoor facility, and that's what, like, that. So that's, you know what I mean? Like, I want a part of the Colts. Like, I really like it's not even. Yeah, it's to make cheese. It is a business, no doubt about it. It is a business, but at the end of the day, it's like if high school kids don't really have to go through, which they don't have to go through all the stuff that I did, all the sidetracks I had to go through because I didn't know. Like, there's a straight line how to do it, even a path now. Like, with Truba coming out, with Eamon coming out. You know what I'm saying? With so many guys playing down south from Ottawa, like, we can even copy how Ottawa's doing it.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? There's but why? Our province makes more in total than not like 95% of the country. Like, come on.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like the money's not in Alberta. Like, you feel me? It's not like we don't have cheese here. I'm just saying, it's like people just don't care like that.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And the only way you care, like, and I'm kind of happy, like, because, you know, because Keon is doing this, and like, and the Colts are doing a good job too. Like, it's getting bigger. Like, all our guys from my year are coming back now. You feel me? Like, Brett's coming back. You know what I'm saying? Like, Brett, Colton, you know what I mean? Bro, so many of these guys that even play with the Stamps, like, they're all helping out, and it's word spreading. You know what I'm saying? Like, big time, the 7-7 is gonna get better next year.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's rolling, it's moving, but at the same time, that's pretty much the reason why.
Use the business as a vehicle to bring exposure and money and funding to the sports.
Pretty
and
much.
everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
I'm gonna ask people for money. If y'all don't want to invest, that's fine. I could do it myself.
Here we go. I guess before we move on, so you mentioned you didn't have a lot of big football background in high school. What got you into football, Shane? And what was it a coach? Was it a friend?
No, I was playing basketball back in junior high. So I went to SJM. I was playing basketball back in junior high, and I thought it was hot shit. So we had just won. I think we were lost in the championship. I thought it was smooth, hot shit, right? So we got the letter from Crescent saying, we want you a part of the football program. So I was like, yo, they want me to play football here. Let's go. So I'm running around with this accepted letter saying, yo, I'm happy as hell that they want to play football, not knowing they sent everybody to freaking school. So I walk in, and I think Ward hits me. Was like, yo, you're Shane. He's like, yeah. And then we went down, and I think Coach Rob, he was coaching D-line at the time. He asked me what side of the ball I wanted to play. And I was like, side? I said both, right? Because, I mean, I said both. He said, now you got to pick one. So I said O-line, and then that's how I became a tackle.
Wow, that's awesome.
That's the story. That's how I started playing football. And then I got my first cleats from my boy Emmanuel Joshua. He was a basketball player, cold basketball player back in the day too. I got my first pair of cleats from him too. That year as well. But yeah, and that's literally how we started, because they didn't even know my parents didn't know what cleats were. I didn't know what cleats were. Like, I had no idea they had belts in the bottom, bro. Like I was running there in the shoes. Like, that's just what I was used to. So it's like it was different.
That's awesome. Shane, I got a comment because what you're talking about, trying to grow grassroots sports, baseball included, it was really great to hear, because that's basically what we're trying to do with football on this podcast and with the amateur agency. So I do commend you for doing that. It's nice to hear that there's people who have a lot more clout than us making their mark.
Yeah, but we build it.
Yeah, we're
Yes, sir.
building it up
We build
slowly
it.
but surely, brick by brick.
Yeah, that's all it is.
Yeah, so I really did like hearing that, and I'm sure Zach and Steve did as well. But so this, so you go from some junior high basketball, you get your first cleats, and then get into football. Now, what through all these years, Shane, has been the greatest lesson that football's taught you?
There's a lot, honestly. Like I relate football to everything I do. Like there's nothing I cannot compare football to be honest. But damn, oh,
That's a good one, isn't it?
It's a loaded question, man.
Because I kid you not. There's a lot I compare so much to football. Like everything. Pretty much everything, how I move is pretty much like a whole game, because like I compare everything from start to finish. You know what I mean? Like the way I start the day, like is almost the way I start a game. If I really want to have a good day, like you know what I mean, I go to bed by like 10:30, and I'm up by 6. Like my body's naturally wakes up at 6, and I'm running. You feel me? Like so, that's it's I don't know. Okay, I say probably just start, because I hate squatting. I still hate, not hate it. It's a love-hate relationship, right? But with me, with squatting, the hardest part of squatting is always starting. It's that first drop. Like it's always the hardest. But once I go down, like I can rock through the whole set. But it's that first drop that's always the biggest. You know what I mean? Like you set up, you feel me? Like it makes your feet, you feel good in the hips, like. You do your old checks and whatnot, and then you pick it up. It's like, damn, this bitch. Sorry.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, you just don't know if you got to go back up. You feel me? So it's like, just start. If you drop down, like you're gonna know if you're coming up or not. It's 1 to 2. You feel me? You're gonna get an answer real quick. Mm-hmm. So there's not much really to say. Just start. So I mean, there's that one, I guess, for like, and that's what I use for the business, like. That's why I started in the summer with no funding. Like it's just like, yo, just start. Once you're gonna start building eventually. So eventually you're gonna figure if you keep at it, right? Ooh. And like with stretching and stuff like that too. But I guess that if you use that one.
That's awesome, man. Just start. I like that.
It's a bunch. It's a bunch.
Man,
a bunch.
As someone who overanalyzes everything, Shane, just start is a good lesson to take away from football. And it's so true. And Zach and Steve will attest to this too. We've all played football, and it's something that truly can be applied to everything. Like how you handle yourself around people is one that I always go to. It's just, there's all facets of it is a part of life. And I think that's why it's such a great sport.
Oh yeah, let's go. Sure. There's a lot of mentals to it, to be
mm-hmm.
Now, Shane, after that important question, we move into the final question of the interview, the most important one. Now, have you ever eaten KD?
Yeah.
Does ketchup belong on it or not?
Oh. Well, see, that's the wrong person. So as a kid, I used to drink ketchup from the bottle.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah, you asked the wrong person. I used to mash it up. I used to go crazy with ketchup back in the day.
Yeah. So
yeah. 100%. It can. Hey, it can. It can definitely hit. It can definitely hit. If it's like ketchup, like a spicy ketchup.
Oh yeah. There you go, spicy.
Man.
You heard it here first from Shane Richards. Ketchup belongs on KD.
I'm telling you.
Spicy ketchup, though. Love that, man.
And then there's me sitting here by myself.
Yeah, it's a 3v1 now. There's 3 against 1.
We've been outnumbered on that. I mean, KJ wasn't for it, Keon wasn't for it, so we've had some back and forth on some of the guests here. But I'm happy.
I haven't done it in a long time. Keep in mind, I did say as a kid, You know what I mean? As a kid, we ate dirt and all that stuff. So I mean,
yeah.
I'm just saying. I haven't done it in a long time because I haven't had Katie in a minute. So there's even that.
It's
so
too late, Shane. Once you're in, man. It's going on our socials.
I'll
you know.
I love
I'll
it.
hold it. I'll hold it in the chest.
Awesome.
Let's go.
Shane, where can everyone find you? Where can they find Four Corners Wings on social media? And, we'll plug that all in the notes there.
Okay, so I'm on Instagram as Four Corners YYC, Facebook Four Corners Wingstop. I'm on Google too. But if to order, it's mostly on like DoorDash, Uber Eats, and Skip the Dishes. Also, you can go to the website Four Corners. Actually, it's best to even order through the website because the way DoorDash and Uber Eats set their stuff up is like if you order through the app, like if you go type in like say Four Corners on the app, what it is they charge y'all extra, but they take it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If you go through, say, if they have a website set up and if you go through the website or through that link on the website, the commission only goes straight to the restaurant and not to the app. They don't take any commission. So I mean, I'm trying to figure out a way how to get that out there, but that's definitely a dope point I want to make. But that's probably the best place, or on my personal SR4 Shane. So I mean, that's it.
Awesome. Well, it was a pleasure to sit down with you, Shane. First overall pick from 2019 with the Toronto Argonauts. We're hoping to see you on the field in 2021, hoping there's a season and can see you ball out. Best of luck this year. We hope to have you back on. And for everyone listening or watching on YouTube, be sure to go check out Shane's personal accounts as well as Four Corners Wingstop. Shane, thanks for tuning in and joining us.
I appreciate it.
Awesome. Godspeed.